Take your stage. Thank you, Stan. Where's your hat? Put that. Put that after
What?
It's meeting at 10.
See, that's
Like video game.
Okay, I'll call the City Council County Commissioners to order for December 4th, Tuesday, December 4th, 2018. Please join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me for a short prayer. Heavenly Father, we ask for your wisdom as we make decisions for those folks that we represent in Seneca County. We ask in a special way that you watch over those men and women who are protecting our freedoms and their families. We ask all this through your Son. Amen. Amen. Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kirchner?
Here.
Commissioner Stacy?
Here.
Commissioner Thomas?
Okay, I'll accept the motion to approve the digital audio video recording of the previous board session from November 27th.
So moved.
And I will second, and we will assume that approved rather than go through the roll call. So the first order of business is some fun stuff, right? We had a poster contest, past, present, and future. And we had, I think, 100 and how many submissions?
34.
30?
134.
134 submissions. 3rd and 4th grade, 5th and 6th grade, 7th and 8th grade. And we have many of those winners with us here today. So, if all the children who were winners want to come stand up and come on up front. Yeah, just stand right up here, guys. Probably made you mad we got you out of school a little bit, huh?
She's like, nope, not at all.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get pictures of the kids. We have, first of all, Olivia. Where is Olivia? She was the first place winner in 3rd and 4th grade. Congratulations, Olivia. 5th and 6th grade, first place was Vincent Kidwell, and second place was Brooklyn Riggs. And 7th and 8th grade, Lavanya?
Livia.
Not here? Yes?
No.
Is that how you pronounce your name?
Liviana.
Liviana, okay? And Alex Margroff. Alexis Margroff, excuse me. So, do you have, Tanya, would you like to say anything about the contest?
Actually, we had 4 more that apparently could not make it today, and then we had one that was from the School of Opportunity that we also
Yes.
acknowledged in our hang. But I thought we had a wonderful turnout, and they did some excellent posters, and congratulations to all of you.
Yeah, special thanks to Chuck Christensen, because this was kind of his brainchild. He did a lot of the work for it. Special thanks to the museum folks themselves for judging the contest, and here we are today with some winners, and they got some cash, right? You guys got Christmas cash? You spend it all on your moms and dads for Christmas? Is that what you're doing? No? Okay, well, we tried. So, again, congratulations to all of you, and you are kind of commissioners for a day today. How's that? You can make some rulings today.
Congratulations. Thanks for participating. Congratulations. Good job.
Thank
You're all more artistic than I am, that's for sure.
Okay.
I saw them.
Well, that's a good thing. Did you take lots of money for the carriage rides over the weekend?
Yeah, I got to take the money.
Yeah, I understand there was like an hour wait for those carriage rides, right?
500 carriage rides.
500 carriage rides. Wow, what a deal. Okay, well anyways, congratulations guys, thank you. You can sit and watch the meeting, you can go back to school, whatever you want to do. I don't know what your mom and dad said.
We're out of here.
So much for your commissioners.
Yes.
Go back to school then.
Thank you.
And parents, thank you for taking.
Stay out of trouble.
I'll try.
Morning, Holly.
Thank you.
Morning.
You're
Are you
hiding behind the...
Okay, well that's as fun as it's going to be today, guys.
Kids, city council had dogs, kids. I mean, hard to go wrong with either one.
So kind of under old business, we have one more item, voting machines. Holly and I both attended a meeting last night of the Board of Elections, and I'll kind of let Holly bring you up to date on where we're at with that.
To be continued? No.
No, that's true.
Well, anyway, the state is providing a chunk of money, has been reported and is shown in the article this morning from the Board of Elections from their meeting last night. So I thought we ought to at least touch bases on it, and that's at from the state, we are getting $648,392.82.
That's the good news.
That's the good news. And depending on, and, you know, which route of the, you know, kind of the two packages they narrowed down to, they were most interested in to fit the needs and so forth, what percentage that is. But there's just some more things to look into. There's some continuation after year one of software issues for 4 years. There's continuation of maintenance agreements after year one for 4 years that are into this. But what's that mean beyond that? A lot of times in those initial agreements, those costs go up. They don't usually go backwards on because, you know, that this is the agreement because you signed for 4 years, kind of a thing, or for 4 additional years after year one. So we just gotta get that all figured out because the grand totals are, you know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.3 million to just, the other one is, they're both over $1 million, with the licensure stuff continuing as well as the maintenance stuff.
Yeah.
So we want to sort back through that a little deeper now that, see which, there's hardware to hardware, what, about a $50,000 difference, so that's not huge. I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's compared to where we were at, but it's those extra things. It's those little details that we want to just make sure we understand what we're committing to, because the money towards the state is towards that initial purchase of the equipment. We'll have the balance of that to pay, but that ongoing maintenance, there's not gonna be another check coming from the state on that. That's gonna be money we're gonna need to have, and we're eyeballing it at looking somewhere around, could be $50,000 a year that we have to commit for year 2, 3, 4, and 5. What happens after that? That's a lot of money in itself, after this big investment. So, more to come.
Yeah, well, I mean, the good news is the Board of Elections narrowed down a number of companies, hardware
Yeah.
and software companies, and has come to this conclusion, and this is a recommended company, one of the recommended companies by the state. And the other thing that we did find out, because this question's come up quite frequently, will there actually be anything to verify your votes? So you will have the opportunity in any of these situations, if you wish. It's a touch screen, but if you want to print it out, look at it, verify what you did, and then reinsert it, you'll have that chance to do at each election. So there was some concern that people were afraid that, you know, they hit vote and they hadn't had a chance to really review it as much as they would like to. So there will be a chance to actually look at a paper ballot. You won't be able to take it with you, but you'll be able to reinsert it and then go ahead and cast your vote. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, there's no doubts, the systems will certainly impede on voter confidence in what you just did, the security of that, of the whole process, as well as to speed things up a bit, because the demand on poll workers, we don't want that to become greater. We'd rather that become lessen a little bit in the time constraint. We always hope we get a better than a 30% turnout in voting. Well, if we do, obviously, that takes more time, and maybe longer lines and so forth, whereas this, I think, would all help with that goal in mind, of speeding things up and making things a little easier for poll workers.
Yeah, Tom?
Can you change that ballot when you pull it, after you pull it
Yeah.
out and look at it?
Yeah, you would be, if there was something there you didn't like, you could go back to the screen, change it. Until you hit vote,
Okay,
it's not registered.
okay, thank you.
Sure. Yeah, you wouldn't want to change your mind on anything you've done already, would you?
You never know.
Okay, meeting schedule and appointment for 2019.
Can we talk about
Yes.
the old business capital budget
Sure.
real quick? We had discussions about the capital improvements fund over the last couple weeks, and you guys had asked me to put it down on paper. So I did change it this morning just to reflect the potential new amount for the Board of Elections. So it would put our capital improvement budget almost at 2 million. And this is just appropriations, just the budget. If we determine these projects won't go through next year, then it's just reducing the appropriations. It's not moving the cash yet, so.
And this obviously, on that line in particular, doesn't reflect that the money's we're gonna
Right.
get a check back from the state, but we have to put all the money out in place.
Yep, we'll pay it in this fund, and that way, we won't have to move, obviously, that cash, the 648,000, that'll be paid into that fund. So, I
Okay.
didn't know if you wanted to move forward with this. I said I'd have it ready today. That'll be the last of our 2019.
we basically are identifying those capital improvements that we think are the most important, not necessarily funding them,
Right.
but deciding how we're gonna prioritize them. So I'm okay with moving forward with this.
Yes, so I will move that we approve the 2019 capital improvements budget to account 1215 as presented.
And I will second. Roll call, please.
Commissioners Titus, Commissioner Stacy,
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
No.
All right, schedule appointments for our meeting schedules, is that what we're talking about now?
Yeah, I just put that on the agenda just so we could start the conversations for 2019. We don't actually set it until January, but I figured,
Well, we've had some talk in the past about discussing anyways, whether or not Thursday would be a better day. Do you have any thoughts about that? Thursday as opposed to Tuesday, or are you okay with where we're at now?
Just not Mondays.
and not Fridays.
Not Mondays,
Well,
not Fridays.
I think the big concern was that sometimes on Tuesdays, there's a holiday on Monday, makes it difficult to get things
Oh,
put together for the Tuesday meeting.
Been Tuesdays for a long time, but once a week schedule, we could still do, I mean, if, we can determine that at that meeting, but the quarterly evening meetings, we're
Right.
planning to probably continue those.
Yeah, it could either be on
Um,
Tuesday or Thursday. Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
I'm indifferent, doesn't it?
all right, let's get Shane, Commissioner Thomas in here to also weigh in. I'm okay with Thursdays. I'd like to see us maybe try that for a quarter, and like we did a couple of years ago, find out whether it works for everybody. Happen to take any comments out there? Anybody have any thoughts about that? Thursday worse than Tuesday, better? Not Thursday. Why not Thursday?
Because that's Kiwanis.
Kiwanis. Well, there's plenty of time to get to Kiwanis. We're hardly ever here till noon.
I will accept.
I don't want to cram too much into your day. Okay. All right, we'll get Commissioner Thomas's input into this, and then we'll go from there. Ohio Public Works Commission update. Commissioner Stacy has been the representative on this for a number of years, and I had the opportunity to go last Friday. Just to bring you up to date, the Seneca County has a number of projects in the queue, if you will. This is where they appropriate money for counties and roads and those kind of things, big projects. Mark, our engineer, happens to be chairman of that group, and it's, I think, 16 counties?
I think that's
Or
right.
District 16.
It's District 16, I don't know how many counties it is, it might be
Okay.
more than 16.
There's a
counties.
number of counties.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we after reviewing it, we certainly have our fair share. Mark's done a good job getting us in the queue for a number of projects. From what I remember, we have $3 or $4 million in projects that are above the line or that are approved for next year in the county. So that's the good news. I was going to get a list of those projects, but I don't have them in front of me. Okay. And advanced repayments.
we were gonna bring that up about 4 or 5 advanced repayment requests. The auditor's office is considering doing our advances just a little bit different next year, and then I'm gonna sit down and go over a few things first, but I thought maybe she'd be here today, but she couldn't be here. One thought is we have 2 advances that are rather large for the 911 fund. It was a total of $719,526.12. What we could do to get, since the advances seem to be a little cumbersome, and what I think we're gonna be moving towards is doing appropriations every year for advances, that we could put that under a transfer and just have the 911, basically treat it as an advance, but get it off our advance, change it into a transfer, and then just bill the 911 fund. That way it takes that advances line out, we don't have to re-advance or re-appropriate it every year.
Well, I like it because you don't have to touch it that often, or you have to touch it fewer times, and it is what it is. I mean, it's something that 911 fund is going to pay us back for, right?
Yep.
And so we basically, under current methods, we close it out and then reopen it every year,
That's
as
the-
opposed to
that's
just
the-
allowing it to repay a normal course of business. So if there's a way to just let it repay a normal course of business, I'm fine with that.
Sounds like a cleaner
Yeah.
process of it, and it's not getting lost in anything. You know,
Right.
it's,
Just the way they're looking to treat advances, just, it's gonna, to me, at least with a large amount, it's kind of skewing our amounts a little bit, and then having to reappropriate it every year. It's,
Yeah, as a matter of full disclosure, I do have a meeting with Julie and some representative from the auditor's office on Thursday to go over a couple of procedures that I have a question about, and we'll talk about that next Tuesday. But one, not the least of which, are contracts that are open. I mean, for example, the courthouse, obviously that was a multi-year contract, and under current procedures, we basically close that contract out and then reopen it the next year. But to me, that's kind of a breach of contract, because we can't cancel a contract and then reopen
No.
it. I mean, are we requesting the other side of people to sign a new contract at that point, or we're just kind of?
is that a new process, or just that the first we've had a contract of that nature that we see this?
The engineer
numbers?
has it quite often.
Sure.
And some of our projects just tend to fall from one year to another. And we've asked the auditor to ask the state auditors for some guidance on this, because I do know other counties, when they do a contract and open a purchase order, our auditor calls it a certificate of funds if it's on a contract, but it's a purchase order. They leave it open until the end of the contract if it falls over 1 year, 2 years. And
Yes, it just seems to me that it doesn't make logical sense to, if you have a 2-year contract, why would you close it out? I mean, why would it be an ongoing?
Yeah,
like at the beginning of the year, every time I have to bring you in a SUP app, because we're just reappropriating the money. And that's why I have so many of those at the beginning of the year, because, what we have to guess is what we're paying on until December. Anything left, we need to close it, wait till we reappropriate it. We gotta redo the revenue, redo the appropriations.
Well, I mean, using that same logic, if we leased copy machines, in theory, it's a long-term lease, you close it out at the end of every year and then reopen it, it doesn't make any sense.
yeah, it doesn't streamline the process of anything, that
No.
just adds more paperwork.
Yeah.
Well, let me have the conversation Thursday, if that's okay, and we'll come in next Tuesday, maybe it's next Thursday. Thursday.
Do you wanna adjust that, the one for 911
Yeah.
today? You wanna wait on that?
No, I think we can go ahead and adjust that.
What I think we can do is just amend the 2 resolutions to be transfers instead of advances. And then we would just have to do a supplemental appropriations for that $719,526
So
well into our transfers outline,
are you prepared to do that today, or
Yeah.
you want, okay, all right.
if you're okay with that.
So say it one more time, I'll make the motion.
I need a supplemental appropriations to our transfers outline for the $719,526.12.
Okay, so that's my motion.
No, I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas? Commissioner Stacy?
Yes,
Commissioner Kushner?
Yes.
And then just to amend the resolution number 186 and 185 to reflect transfer instead of advances.
So moved?
So moved.
That's what I thought.
yeah.
I'll second.
I'm trying to write it down.
Commissioner Thomas? Commissioner Stacy?
Yes,
Commissioner Kushner?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have, what else you got?
Just, you want me to start through these resolutions?
Sure.
I have the resolution approving all supplemental appropriations and appropriation adjustments submitted through the VIP system for December 4th. It looks like I have one from, my agenda, make sure I got them in order. The first one is for contract services for Job and Family Services. They're requesting additional $68,000, and it's to cover an amendment to the past Patchwork House access visitation contract and cover shared costs due to the child support fund back to public assistance, and this is for $68,000 to contract services. My next one is the Real Estate Assessment Fund. Julie is asking for supplemental appropriation for $5,000 for replacing computers in her real estate side. And then we're doing a transfer out to, for the $156,000, that is for the server portion. We have to move the cash over and then do the transfer, actual transfer from the general fund to the capital improvement fund for the $156,000. I'm gonna hold that advance it until next week.
Okay.
And then I have resolution authorizing the application for the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration grant for FY19 on behalf of Oriana House, authorizing Mike Kirschner as board president to sign this and other related documentation.
Move to approve resolutions as presented.
I will second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas? Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes. Okay, the time has come for open discussion. Comments. Do we have any today? We have a executive session scheduled, however, I think that we'll postpone that, dealing with property sale until Commissioner Thomas has an opportunity to weigh in. There is no rush, I guess, so we'll wait until next Thursday for that. Hearing no comment, we are adjourned. All right.